Welcome to Lesson 1 of English 9A, Credit 1. This credit is called The Bonds Between Us. That's the theme of the credit. And on the first page, you will see a picture and a quote. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to pause this video often so you can write down your answers. So in the image, we see a whole bunch of people swarming around, and it looks like they're trying to build sort of a human pyramid or a tower. The quote says, "The welfare of each of us is dependent fundamentally upon the welfare of all of us," by Theodore Roosevelt. So how do the image and the quote work together to create a connection to the theme, the bonds between us? Page 2 is a glossary of words you'll see as we go through this packet, so always make sure you refer to it if you need to. Page 3 is a preview. At the end of this credit, you're going to be doing a summary. And this is probably the biggest part of your grade, so always make sure to pay attention to the performance test that's coming up. So for this one, you're going to be reading a story, and of clay we are creative. Okay, and at the end, you're going to be writing a summary that uses textual evidence to describe how the main character changed. Okay, and this is just an overview. Mostly we're going to be learning about paraphrasing and summarizing during this lesson. Okay. The first article we have to read is called, the article we're reading is called 1985, Volcano Kills Thousands in Colombia, and the source is BBC News. About 20,000 people are feared dead after a volcanic eruption in northern Colombia. 4 towns in the Andes region are reported to have been buried when ash spewed out of the volcano Nevado del Ruiz, causing a mudslide. The worst affected was Armero, the province of Tolima's second largest city, about 50 miles from the Colombian capital of Bogota. Armero, which lay in a valley below the 16,200-foot-high volcano, was virtually destroyed, buried by mud and rubble swept down onto it. The fatal eruption happened during the night when most of the town's 27,000 residents were in bed. Nevado del Ruiz, known locally as the Sleeping Lion, had not erupted for 150 years. So you see, this main idea is what we're going to be figuring out, and it says, in your own words, state the main idea of this article in 1 to 2 sentences. Gives you a hint. Article titles are often reveal the main idea. So look at the title, The Volcano Kills Thousands in Colombia, and think about the main idea of this article. Then, based on the article's introduction and the information in the glossary, why is this considered a source material? And again, a source material is an original authoritative material used in research. Okay, so just the fact that it was a news source would make it a source material. So make sure that you pause the video and write down your answers. Now you have the main idea that you wrote on the previous page, and now we're going to look to find evidence. We call this textual evidence. Okay, so if your main idea was something about the volcano killed thousands of people in Colombia, you would want to look for evidence to support the main idea. Okay, one example has been underlined for you. So if our main idea was that the volcano killed thousands of people in Colombia, 4 towns in the Andes region are reported to have been buried would support that main idea. Okay, so let's look for more. The worst affected was Armero, the province of Tolima's second largest city, about 50 miles from the Colombian capital of Bogota. Armero, which lay in the valley below the 16,200-foot-high volcano, was virtually destroyed, buried by mud and rubble swept down onto it. That could possibly be a piece of textual evidence. The fatal eruption happened during the night when most of the town's 27,000 residents were in bed. Nevado del Ruiz, known locally as the Sleeping Lion, had not erupted for nearly 150 years. Fatal eruption could be another piece of evidence. Okay, now we're going to take those things that you underlined and you're going to fill out the chart here for you. Okay, the first one was done for you. And then they explained it by saying this supports the main idea because 4 towns were buried, probably destroyed, when the volcano erupted and covered the towns. So you're going to put those 2 things that you underlined on the previous page here, and then you're going to explain. If you underlined 3 more things, that's great. You can add those as well. So pause and add that information. Okay, now I want to look at the difference between summarizing and paraphrasing. So summarizing is a brief statement of central ideas in a piece of writing in your own words. It identifies the writer and the title of the original text. It highlights the main ideas. It presents the information neutrally with no opinion in favor or against it, and it's usually much shorter than the original text. Paraphrase is very similar. It also identifies the writing, and it is going to explain what happened, but it's a little different in that it kind of replaces the words that you're reading. So it doesn't really shorten it. It's usually the same length. It just changes sentence structure or uses synonyms. So it mixes it up a little bit. So here you have original piece and 3 summaries. The original piece says, Tom and Bill were walking to school. They passed over a bridge as they did every day. But on this day, the river was full, the water was clear, and the sun was shining in a cloudless sky. Tom said, "Let's go fishing." Bill wasn't so sure. "We have a test today. Shouldn't we go to class?" "Nonsense," said Tom. "You only live once. A day like this won't come along again." Bill wasn't sure this was a good idea, but suddenly a fish jumped from the sparkling water. He decided Tom was right. They should definitely skip class on such a nice day. So our summaries: Tom and Bill were walking to school on a beautiful day. Tom thought they should go fishing. Bill thought they should go to school because they had a test. Tom thought it would be a shame to waste the day, and Bill finally agreed. Read the other 2 summaries and then explain why summary 1 would be the best example for this piece of work. Now we'll look at paraphrasing. So paraphrasing, again, does not shorten the text. It just sort of mixes it up. So here, at the top here, you see this original text. Willy Wonka was famous for his delicious candy. Children and adults loved to eat it. So you see on the paraphrase example, they changed famous to known throughout the world. They changed delicious to tasty. They changed children and adults to people, and love to eat to enjoy eating. So our paraphrase example is, Willy Wonka was known throughout the world because people enjoyed eating the tasty candy he made. So now you're going to paraphrase the paragraph. The first one is done for you. BBC News reports in their article 1985, volcano kills thousands in Colombia, that approximately 20,000 people were killed after a volcano called Nevado del Ruiz became active and created a mudslide. Ash covered 4 nearby towns in the Andes region of Colombia, which accounted for most of the deaths. The worst affected was Armero, the province of Tolima's second largest city, about 50 miles from the Colombian capital of Bogota. Armero, which lay in the valley below the 16,200-foot-high volcano, was virtually destroyed, buried by mud and rubble swept down to it. So remember, we're going to paraphrase, so we're going to change. So the worst affected area was Armero. How can we change that? We could say Armero was the most badly hit. I gave you some ideas for paraphrasing the last paragraph here. The deadly eruption happened during the night when most of the town's 27,000 residents were in bed. Nevado del Ruiz, known locally as the Sleeping Lion, had not erupted for nearly 150 years. So here's some examples of what your paraphrase could look like for the third paragraph. Either one of those would work, or you can create your own. And then here you're going to create a summary of the article we've been reading. You're going to look back and look at what you've done for your paraphrasing, the textual evidence you saw, and you're going to make 3 sentences that summarize the article we read. The next page, you're going to be reading a narrative, a story about a journalist's attempt to rescue a trapped girl named Asuena. In this lesson, you will review several important elements of a narrative, including plot, character, theme, and descriptive language. So I have those here for you to review. Remember, a character is a person, so draw a line that marks the character to the person. The plot is what happens, okay? A boy wakes up in a strange world, loses his belongings, battles monsters, and then the theme is this, an act of kindness that affects anyone in unexpected ways. So in this activity, you're going to identify examples of descriptive language from the narrative and of play we are created. So this is the first part of that story that we're going to read later in lesson 2. So remember, descriptive language uses your 5 senses, okay? Anything you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, okay? So right here, they discovered the girl's head protruding from the mud pit, eyes wide open, calling soundlessly. That's a noise. So here in your chart, they wrote for you, hearing, calling soundlessly. She had a first communion name, Asuena Lily. In that vast cemetery where the odor of death, that's smelling. So you could write here, smell, odor of death, was already attracting vultures from far away, and where the weeping of orphans and wails of the injured filled the air, the little girl obstinately clinging to life became the symbol of the tragedy. The television cameras transmitted so often the unbearable image of the head budding like a black squash. Okay, so hopefully you can see something that comes with seeing, something that you saw in this area, and then you would want to add it to your chart. Okay, this is going to be the end of lesson 1.